Okay, so I woke up this morning and I wrote another episode and acted all that out and got through that, nutted that out, had a shower. And as I was having a shower, even before I went to bed last night, I had a moment on the end of the couch, whereas I pulled from the recliner, and as I was getting up I just stopped. And I had a cry. I had a cry about not able to have access to my daughter, is a simple way of putting it. Knowing all the ins and outs of how it happened, why it happened, who pulled the strings on it, who pulled the lever on the trapdoor, and you know, the agenda, those are the agenda and the agenda behind it. The risk I took, and the level of worry and concern I live with. The hard thing is, something quite trivial happened. I mean, some people, I don't care for judgment, I don't live by a book of judgment, is that I've been requested to, pack up all the things and get her things ready for, transporting to her, which is fair and equitable. But in doing so, I happened to come across her open diary in a drawer, and I happened to glance at the page of which it was open at, and I fell over. And this was weeks ago. This is maybe in the month of August, towards the end of August, the last 10 days that existed in August, it was then. And since then I've created this channel. I've decided to talk because it hurts and it's hard, and I don't trust people because of it, and I don't like what I'm seeing humanity become, the means and the extents of which it is prepared to go in order to put one down, in order to have proprietary position and power for another. It's too much to bear sometimes. And yeah, last night I had a bit of a cry, because I do that. Is that I want to be free of pain and hurt regardless of knowing, regardless of all the elements to it, which are unnatural. So to be rid of the control of the external force, I have to face it, and I know that emotionally it's what's mature about me, which I never really express in a public forum, because it's what I do in my private life. I keep private, but I can't keep it private anymore. It got to me last night, and it was good because as I was having a shower today, after I acted out and wrote a new episode for a new segment, a new chapter, I went and had a shower and I washed that away, and I let everything simmer down, and I was brought in my memory as I was packing up her stuff in her room, which was the master suite, ensuite and all. I lived in the study. Yeah. Is that there were some texts that, even though I've been told that, you're not allowed to have contact with her, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 for reasons that are unforeseen, because nothing is based upon truth, everything's based upon agenda, so nothing's real. Therefore, it has no effect over me. And there were texts. I was going in the shower and I was going out in my mind. I was remembering all the texts, and I was like, you've got to talk about that. And I'm like, because there's a lot of really good anecdotes, really good fatherly advice. And I'm going to do that today. I'm just going to get to the start of them now. I'm just going through my phone. it starts sort of here. Sunday 7th of August at 9:44 a.m. It's day 81. I'd like to know your current state of affairs as your father, please, i.e. where, who and why you are with who you are with. I need to know because of the house. I can't bear this, it's very, very hard. If you ain't coming back, I have to consider other options. Are you alive? Hello? Hello? If I don't hear of you by the end of tomorrow, I'll just have to do what I must then in your absence. I really hope you're okay, you're safe, and with family, because I don't know. I was a kid once too who needed somebody. Now I'm your dad. And I give you the truth. You know why you don't like the truth? Because to understand it means you have to change. Because that's what the truth does. The truth changes you. You don't want to change. You don't want to grow. You don't want to be family. You don't want to be my family in truth. So what has resulted. For me, to me. At least I never pretended to be someone I am not. And because you couldn't manipulate me, because you couldn't accept the truth, you did what you did, and now I'm being treated like a criminal for wanting to get you out of that school. And you treat me like a mental inpatient for taking on the system which you needed me to do. Taking on your school, the cops, the HHS, the courts, your grandparents, at times even your peers, and especially your mother, for 16 years. You didn't like the change of schools and cognitive behavioural therapy, so you bucked. You bucked against me for trying to break you free of this sick cycle and give you a real chance, a good start at a life of your own. But they and their lives were better than what your own father wanted for you, which was the best. All it required was for you to listen, learn, change, and grow. But you're better than that. Better than me. You gotta be careful. You will become them. A lie. And then you're not real. I have realised my mind all these years created a ghost of you. An ideal of who you are so I could cope. And it's not real. It's so far from the truth, it's painful. It's poison, in fact. At least I faced it at last. 82 days. Stone cold sober. In isolation. I faced the pain of being your father. I faced the pain induced by all involved. I faced it all. And I'm free again. Free of the lie of who you, in my absence, have become. Free of the lies that they create to use against me, to control, so you don't see who they really are. My 82 days have been sobering, in any and all ways, shapes and forms, and I'm justified knowing I have done for you all one can without losing myself in the process. My truth, my way, my being, my heart, my very soul. I feel I do not love you enough to compromise these very things they wish me to give up to be in your life on your terms. I will always love you, and I will always be your father. Believe about me what you will. I am going to enjoy and try and have a life, my life, as me. Not as who you want to diminish me down to. You need to face yourself. Face what all this has made of you. And 2, be free to be your authentic self and find truth, love and peace. Only despair lives in happiness. Find meaning. Walk with purpose. Be cosmic. That's how you were created naturally. I know, I was there. Don't do drugs. They're so bad for you these days. They lead only to death. And no matter what the fuck, I love you. We got robbed. Be wise, especially living in the land of confusion. Become. You become by turning the pain of this existence through optimism into power. Become. I think everyone is born creative, but it can be suppressed by fear. The fear of failure kills creativity and intelligence. The only thing it produces is conformity. The fear of criticism stagnates the power of creativity. To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong. Fear and creativity don't mix well. Fear is the mortal enemy of creativity, innovation, and happiness. The enemy of creativity is fear. We're all born creative. It takes a little while to become afraid. A surprising insight. An enemy of fear is creativity. Acting in a creative way generates action, and action persuades the fear to lighten up. The enemy of creativity is fear. Fear is always triggered by creativity. Because creativity asks you to enter into realms of uncertain outcome. And fear hates uncertain outcome. This is nothing to be ashamed of. It is, however, something to be dealt with. So this, I believe, is the central question upon which all creative living hinges. Do you have the courage to bring forth the treasures that are hidden within you? "89 days no school." DHHS really got your best interests going on now, don't they? All that happened is simple. I went to get your birthday present. I got pulled over the police and done for speeding. As a result, I lost my license. As a result, I lost my job. As a result, I lost income. I couldn't afford the fuel and drive you to school with no license. I needed you to change schools to here and catch the bus from across the street. And you also got suspended again for vaporizing. I was just trying to be a good dad. It's that simple. You gotta be careful what you wish for, kid. I tried. You know, things happened. I mean, like rule number 3. There were only 3 rules living here, man. Was to tell the truth about that guy in that car with that registration plate. And you couldn't do that for me. And then after beating the system back out of your life, after being in your life for so long, explaining to you that there was going to be blowback for what I did. And when it came, you couldn't and wouldn't stand with me. You actually joined in. on their side. I tried. I failed. And now you haven't been to school in 90 days. I don't know where you are. And I don't know if you're safe. And I just have to live with it. How unjust and unfair that is. And try and get up every day and just go have a life. Every day I wake up, the first thing I say is, where is Bella? How come I don't know where Bella is? And there's an urgency to it. And I make a coffee, grab a cigarette, and I call that cigarette DHHS, and I smoke it to the butt. And then maybe an hour later, I'll have my second one. I'll call that your school, and then by mid-morning, I'll be having my third cigarette, and I'll be calling that the courts. And then by lunchtime, I'll have my fourth cigarette, and that one there is everybody else involved in making me have to live the way I have to, with what I have to. And I smoke them to the butt. Every time. In order for me to fight for you in the courts, they were going to cave in my house. Why? You have to see you got played, so the system could get at me. I did everything I did for you. And when it was your turn to stand with me, you failed. And that's that. You know, us, this little family we were trying to put back together that ever since you were 2 years old has always been pulled apart, and it's a very different new feeling. Yeah. For who? Now in the system's eyes, I failed you. Now in the transcripts, I failed you. That's standard shit. Doesn't bother me none. This country's pretty corrupt at the moment. You gotta start to understand and accept that your mind was played with. You know, and I realised that when I got you back. I knew it. And I tried to get you straight. I got CBT, I got a good, you know, teenage counsellor, very neutral, outside of school, outside of family. I gave you the support network that you needed at my cost, which was the right thing to do, which I promised to do before the judge when I got you back. And I was committed to that, and I followed through on that, and I'm proud of myself for that. But I failed. And DHHS preyed upon that very fact. Oh, now they want to make a criminal out of me. Because I beat them. Because they, the system and all involved, they're the menace. Unfortunately, it's purely political. And you and me are the victims of such corruption of the previous Morrison government. It's that simple. And now I've got to look the bad guy for showing up and setting it right. Catching that plane, crossing the ocean, and facing him. And telling him, back off. I ain't playing. I'm just a dad. And you're wrong. So, you know, it's liberal white nationalist agenda. And they did a deal behind our backs. And that's truth. I mean, that cop that interrogated you on your own, in your room, by yourself, with the door closed, he broke the law doing that. That was illegal. He was of agenda. Like your school faculty. Like Scott Morrison. It was political. See, I'm not liberal. I'm not a nationalist. And I'm not pro-white. It was a Labour deal. And I found out by going back to work and standing up once again as a good father and going to make money so that we could financially float. You know, and I found out they were selling our jobs and our wages and running a slavery racket. They were trying to turn this country into something of which other nations within the Commonwealth, have surpassed now and moved forth and out of. You know, the rich, the white, and poor everyone else who's not going to get with the program. With wages that just couldn't sustain us versus a cost of living only they could afford, because everything with them, their metrics are separate to ours. And because I was vocal, fighting back at it, they did me by taking you leading into the election. And the last thing they did before there was a transfer of power was remove you from my custody. And they manipulated everything around us to do it. Truth. You know that person from DHHS? She's a motherfucking liar. Pure and simple. You know that faculty that you were being educated by? Same. You know those police officers that kept coming to the house? Same. Through voice, we the people saw the truth and voted him out. Overturned the collective that they had become, which was not in anybody's best interests, being Australian. But for you and me, they divided us. They commanded us with the letter of the law, but not conquered. Standard government tactics. I'm a wog. A dirty, black wog pro-unionist. That's why they did you to do me. Truth. I did what I did. How I did. For you and me and our future. So, they poisoned us to take that opportunity away. The opportunity of our future, the opportunity of our family, the opportunity of the natural order. That's how corrupt they are. So, that's why you're there. That's why 90 days no school. So, I look what they unfortunately unfoundingly claim I am on paper to discredit me, to hurt you and to hurt us. They're a menace, and unofficially, I'm under house arrest induced by such listed above, by manipulating, all factors within the system around us. I mean, a driver's license number. I mean, have you seen a good shot of Frank Sinatra with, the black and white numbers underneath him? There's a driver's license. You're carrying one in your pocket everywhere you go. So, 90 days tomorrow. And when I get up and out, like Morpheus in the Matrix, I might end up right back here, unofficially. Off the books. Because see, I don't commit crimes. I'm not a criminal. I don't give them such leverage over me. So they came at you. They came for my license. They knew I'd lose my job, and they knew it would make our life hard in the home. They manipulated everything around us. They psychologically manipulated you because they can't get to me. Truth. It's called psychological warfare, and it's used by the government over civilians to gain control of their minds and dominate their will into becoming sheep. You got played. That's why they lie directly to your face, trying to program your mind to suit their pro-white agenda. That's why we don't get along. Not you and me. As you could see, me and them. I despise them. They're disgusting. And they're racist. You're right. Truth. Don't be their political pawn. They don't care what happens to you or how traumatic it might be. They will use everything they can to manipulate you against me, your own father, and to manipulate me so I appear to be something that you can hate. That's the truth. And you can pick these types of people a mile away. They reek of fear. Don't buckle to their fear. Don't live in a black and white world. That's what they want, to put you to sleep on who you truly are. Truth. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. They only weaponise your trauma. They'll mutate your being so they can lock you up when the programming doesn't take. Truth. So why I wanted you to go to CBT and deal with your trauma now is to avoid you becoming a government mess by 30. Yes, and I'm right. Truth. I mean, school principals, police involved were from where? You gotta question everything. I love you. Don't be used. Be you. I know all their tricks and they know that I know. They're just bullshit. They formulate to hide who they are. Keep you confused. When the mind is confused, they get in deeper. And you don't know it nor recognise it. It's called MK. Watch out for sleight of hand. You know, people who will try and influence your way of thought. They're programmers. I want you free. I want you. I love you. This is why they set up the removal of you from our home. I won't let the system or these kinds of people make a bot out of you, because that's my job. I am a good father. Typical liberal mind programmers. And, you know, I tried to share some of what I understood was going on around you to the last DHHS fingerman. And I told her, in part, some of this, exactly this, in truth. And she still sent you. Well, Liberals were in power at the time, yes. Scott Morrison doesn't like the truth nor losing, yes. Comes from the world of winners and losers, yes. And our story brought the people to see his and his parties, corruption, and extreme use of force upon the people. If I am me, in my authentic self, empowered by choice for the people, Labor, therefore there is an opposite force. And that's why you're not here. Purely political manipulation of your mind for the swing of your generation's mind to go their way, whether it be out of a personal choice of yourself, misleading manipulation of your thoughts, or whatever else they could fucking conjure up. It didn't happen by chance. You know, you are my child. You are born to something great. You are born like myself. Now I'm going to tell you something. You have to self-govern it. You have to have discipline. You have to have your own mind and your own understanding of your own multidimensional being as a fingerprint. No two are the same. My blood in part makes you up. There's another part to you, and you are unique, and you are one of one. You are one of a kind, and you are beautiful. The problem with this nation is we as citizens have no Bill of Rights. No rights against the tyranny of what we saw under the Morrison government. They deal in minds. The system here is so stacked to entrap you. And it's illegal under UN law. And when I say UN, you know, United Nations, systemic human trafficking takes place. Now, for reasons and motivations, that we can define. Now, I can't fight for you without you understanding first what we are fighting. If you can understand the what, then we can develop a how. But you need to come out of your shell. Like before Christmas, when you started having heart-to-heart conversations with me about what life was like in my absence. And you have to see what changed you in that period of time. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of influencing factors all around you, and a massive polarity just comes with being you, and I'm here for you. I get it. Just, you got to know who you are, and you got to know that that's not you. And they don't want you my way. My way for you is you for you. Remember what I said? You lead your life 2/3 of the time, but there'll come a time where for 1/3 I've just got to step in front, and you've just got to follow whether you like it or not, no matter how painful it may be. It's only temporary. But I'll get you through sometimes some of the hard hurdles, and that's what I've got to do as a dad. And you just got to let me do it. You can't tell me how to be a dad. But for 2/3, you can lead your own life, because it's the only way you're going to learn. But there's going to be 1/3 of the time where you just got to follow. This will keep you awake, because fear and creativity cannot coexist. So, it's all up to you. You can keep blaming me, or face the truth and be real. Be you. And in order to help you better understand what all this is now, cognitive behavioral therapy. So, no falling down or path of addiction. Leading to a good life, a real life, for you. I mean, as a father, it's my greatest wish. I mean, given all the circumstances around you, I really feel as a father that right now it's a crucial time in your life, and you really don't have another choice. And that's the truth. I want you with me, Isabella, because I know what you need for the best possible outcome. Truth. As uncomfortable as it is, it's the best thing. I love you. The truth is bitter. I love you. I worry about you. I love you. I'm your dad. No family's perfect. There is no normal life. What is life? Question. What is existence? Question. There is no normal life. There is. That's up to you. Good choices will lead to good outcomes. It's harder, but requires optimism, not toxic positivity. And that's the truth. And I love you. I think of you and I just independence, strength, creativity, you, and I'm your dad. There is a natural order greater than any form of control. And this is who you and I are both born to. This is who you are and that which we both belong. You know, it's like what Sifu Lee says. Don't pray for an easy life. That's out of your control. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. You know, and it's the old law of the street, old code of the jungle. You know, sometimes you got to play the role of a fool to fool the fool who thinks they're fooling you. You know what I mean? That's the truth. Coexistence takes harmony within ourselves, within the home. Neighbours suck. Schools suck. People outside our little family suck. You gotta watch them closely. They suffer from social injustices and falsehoods. And I too have had to learn. In life, I am always a student. I have learned that not everything one can perceive deserves a reaction. But When it gets to a certain point of criminality, then one must react to absolutely everything until oblivion. Because at the end of the day, this is our home. I love you, Dad. One must ignore that which he must and create a greater awareness of what is real. I mean, from this, you determine the required reaction for the home, for the family, and for self. This is called mitigation of risk, and it's very human in modern times to do so for such. And really, nothing else matters. This is loyalty. This is family. This is truth. This is harmonious living. This is a way for a good life. This is becoming. With good outcome. For us, they don't matter. Only we do. Don't let they of the exterior in at any or all times. This ensures personal integrity of the sanctuary, the inner sanctum of the home, which is us, no matter where we be. I love you, Dad. We are all learning all the time in ever-changing times. No fear. Balance is key to conquering fear within. And under siege you shall be no more. Isolation in the home is not cool, but typical teenage stuff. But no need for such levels of disrespect between us. I mean, I'm trying to find you, and you're doing typical 15-year-old stuff, and that's cool most of the time, but some of the time, remember the third rule? Anyway, I wish for your return to be able to put into practice what I have conveyed here today. I mean, how do you feel about that? It's like, let's talk about mindset now. Like, positive thoughts and affirmations, 1 to 20, as trying to create a little mindset about how to go about retraining how we perceive others to be and helping to control our emotional body in the process. So let's have a look. What do we got here? I am open and ready to be positive, minus toxicity. I am in control of my feelings. No matter how hard it is, I can do it. I am smart. I deserve to be happy. I believe in myself and my goals. I am a kind person. Obstacles help me to grow and learn. I stand up for what I believe in. I make good choices. I have the power to be happy. I can make a difference in the world. I work hard. I am honest. I am grateful for what I have. Today I'm going to be my best self. I am prepared to be successful. It is okay if I make mistakes. I like myself for who I am. Today is going to be a great day. Look, I'm trying to arrange some dental for you, some orthodontics. I'm so sorry, it has taken so long, but you know, the Medicare situation we had to go through, that should grant you some insight into how difficult things are at present. So just bear with me, I'm working on things. sorry you're feeling so blue, but there is just nothing I can do. You will make new friends. This new school, it's a good thing. It's a good school. And you get a fresh start. You've really got to look and take stock of what's before you. Just get into your art. Stay creative and work on being you. Learn to listen to the right people. And don't fear the people who love you the most. For the right reasons. The people who would die for you. You need to get things straight in your heart and iron out your mind. You carry a lot of trauma and you have a big shadow. And I guess that probably goes for both of us. Not just you. Me too. So be careful of those that will use this against you and lead you down a dark path. It's called trauma bonding. Your art, your creativity, your beauty, your fun, that's your ticket. I hope you learnt the lesson you needed out of this. See things for how they truly are and who I really am, and not how others want you to. I love you. The choice that the department told you that you had was an illusion. You never had one from the beginning. They're always going to come. Even if you're married with kids, they will just show up. They've laid claim, and it's not real. The only thing you can do is be good, finish your education, and then come find me. That's all that's left. 100. I belong to the system of slavery here in this shithole. The rest of these idiots. So as always, I'm gonna do me. I just hope and pray, fingers crossed. You find the courage and see this shit around you for what it is. And take a leap of faith and leave and come and find me. It's all I can hope and pray for, is you get out of this shithole ASAP. If not, you're going to be a victim of drug dependence and abuse. A young mum, and you're going to suffer a similar fate of which you know about to be true. Or, when you get to that crossroads, you can make a choice. And you can come and find me and deal with your trauma. Deal with the department and what they've done to you. Deal with your mother abandoning you. Deal with it all. And then go have a good, successful life away from all of us. And be free. Not triggered and reminded and tortured by emotional memories that live in the fibres of your muscles sometimes, that you've just, and you'll never be a victim of anyone ever again. But you got to deal with it first. You got to go to CBT. You got to go and do it. I did it. It's great for you. And then you will be better equipped to deal with the feelings that come with your childhood. Because they're going to arise. It's unfortunate, but at least that way, when you've got the tools in order to know how to deal with it when it arises, I know that you won't fall to drugs and you won't become a criminal, or you won't be lost to despair and hopelessness. Because you're better than that. You're beautiful. I was there. I caught you. I had 2 years that I just can't let go of with you. And every second weekend for when I had you, when I could have you, but when there was no drama, it was the best time of my life. I know how cool you are, man. You're better than them. You're just caught in the system and they don't want to let you go. All I can say is be careful in all you do and you say. Survival sometimes is just going with the flow, even when you know it's a lie and it's no good and it's bad and it's rotten. It's called survival. But you got to learn to go into survival mode and then crawl out of it. Just jump out of it, leap out of it, grow wings, flap your way out of it. And get to the surface all the time. Don't stay in the pit of survival for too long. You know, you're going to need to get your license ASAP, and hopefully you'll just come and find me. Because you may not. But if you do, don't bring this shit that follows you like an evil shadow with you. It's not welcome, and you've got to be prepared to never see anyone from here ever again. Because if you're not prepared to do that, don't look for me. Don't ring me. Don't text me. Because I don't care about Australian Isabella at all. I don't care about Isabella of her mother's side of the family. I don't care about Isabella of the system. I don't care about my family's Isabella. I love, I care, I hope and I pray about and for you. My daughter, who got robbed of her father. And that's it. Here's a tip. Live as so you could walk away from everything and everyone in the space of 30 minutes. On a plane, gone, fuck them all, I'm out. That's the only way. Program yourself. Be your own boss. Make your own evaluation system. Measure with your own ruler. And use your middle finger at all times. And smile and say yes sir, no sir, and never mean it. I love you, Dad. It's not you. It's not me. It's not Pa. It's not Rob. It's not Nick. It's not Auntie Kate. But I will tell you what is your fault. Minus typical teenage stuff, your ability to critically think failed you at a very critical time to live in and tell the truth. And for that, you know, you're only reaping from the telling and the retelling of the lie. For yourself to control the drama around you, it's a coping mechanism, but for others, in order to shift the blame onto and unto me. So, I'm going to say it again. I love you. I'm not angry at you at all, and it's not your fault. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. And I know it's not you. I love you. I miss you. Just gotta keep going. I guess I'll hopefully see you further on up the road, kiddo. I love you always.